Whether you're a believer or not, the world is filled with spooky stories passed down through time, from haunted fortresses to grisly tales of suffering and death. We've pulled together a list of some of the spookiest spots in the world. Let's have a look at some of the spookiest places in the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more informative videos like these. Number 10. The Hoya Forest. The Hoya Forest is a forest situated in the west city of Cluj-Napoca, near the open-air section of the Ethnographic Museum of Transylvania. The forest is used as a common recreation destination. In recent years, a biking park has been added to the forest, along with areas for other spots such as paintball, airsoft, and archery. The forest covers an area of about 3 square kilometers. Its southern border begins on a ridge which runs east-west. To the north, a forest ends on a smoother slope, which meets the Nadas River. Hoya Baku has gained paranormal notoriety around the world, with some believing it to be a portal that causes visitors to disappear. Those who have passed through the forest without being zapped into another realm have reported rashes, nausea, and feelings of anxiety. Number 9. BANFF Springs Hotel. The Fairmont BANFF Springs, formerly and commonly known as the BANFF Springs Motel, is a historic hotel located in Banff, Alberta, Canada. The present hotel property is made up of 2 main buildings, an 11-story tower, and the main block of the hotel. In 1988, the hotel buildings were designated as a National Historic Site of Canada. The Calgary Herald has reported several resident ghosts, including a bride who supposedly fell down the stone staircase during her wedding. But there's a less tragic spirit too, Sam the Bellman, who worked at the hotel until 1975 and claimed he'd come back to haunt the joint. His spirit supposedly pulls shifts, helping people with their bags before disappearing. Number 8. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Eastern State Penitentiary is a former American prison in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The prison is currently a U.S. National Historic Landmark, which is open to the public as a museum for tours 7 days a week. Notorious criminals such as Al Capone and bank robber Willie Sutton were held inside its innovative wagon wheel design. Prisoners lived alone, exercised alone, and ate alone. When an inmate left his cell, a guard would cover his head with a hood so he couldn't see or be seen. The prison had to abandon its solitary system due to overcrowding in 1913. The site now welcomes thousands of visitors every year, both for its museum and Halloween celebrations. Reported paranormal happenings have included disembodied laughter, shadowy figures, and pacing footsteps. Number 7. The Bangar Fort. The Bangar Fort is a 17th century fort built in the Rajasthan state of India. It was built by Bhagwan Das for his younger son Madho Singh. The Bangar Fort is located on the border of Saraskade Reserve in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. The ruins of the king's palace are located on the lower slope of the hills. Trees surround the pond area and a natural stream falls into the pond within the premises of the palace. According to legend, a sadhu named Baba Balek Nath lived within the fort area, and it was his injunction that any house built in the precinct of the fort should not be taller than his own, and if the shadow of any such house fell on his, it would result in the destruction of the fort town. Number 6. Chateau de Brissac. The Chateau de Brissac is a French chateau in the Brissac-Quince area of the commune of Brissac-Loire-Aubonce, located in the department of Maine-et-Loire, France. The chateau is listed as a monument historique by the French Ministry of Culture. The chateau was originally built as a castle by the Counts of Anjou in the 11th century. The property is currently managed by Charles-André de Cosse-Brissac, son of the current Duke of Brissac. The chateau has 7 stories altogether, making it the tallest chateau in the Loire Valley. The chateau is open to the public for tours and overnight stays in its guest rooms, and the luxurious Gilded Theatre hosts the annual Val de Loire Festival, best known as the home of the Green Lady, aka the Ghost of Charlotte of France. The chateau's website tells of the legend of Charlotte, the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII, who was murdered by her husband after he discovered her having an affair. Named for the color of her dress when she was killed, the Green Lady can be found roaming the chapel's tower room and moaning in the early hours of the morning. Number 5. The Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel is a 142-room colonial revival hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, United States. Approximately 5 miles from the entrance to Rocky Mountain National Park, the Stanley offers panoramic views of Lake Estes, the Rockies, and especially Long's Peak. It was built by Freeland Oscar Stanley of Stanley Steamer fame and opened on July 4, 1909. The hotel and its surrounding structures are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It contains 11 contributing structures including the main hotel, the concert hall, a carriage house, manager's cottage, gatehouse, and the lodge, a smaller bed and breakfast originally called Stanley Manor. The hotel reached new levels of fame after inspiring Stephen King to create The Shining's fictional Overlook Hotel. That eerie association aside, many other ghost sightings and some mysterious piano music have been connected to the hotel, and the Stanley Hotel leans into its reputation with nightly ghost tours and psychic consultations from the in-house Madame Vera. Number 4. La Recoleta Cemetery. La Recoleta Cemetery is a cemetery located in the Recoleta neighborhood of Buenos Aires, Argentina. It contains the graves of notable people, including Eva Perón, presidents of Argentina, Nobel Prize winners, and founders of the Argentine Navy, and a granddaughter of Napoleon. Set in 5.5 hectares, the site contains 4,691 vaults, all above ground, of which 94 have been declared National Historical Monuments by the Argentine government and are protected by the state. One of the most famous stories involves David Aleno, a former gravedigger and caretaker who worked at the cemetery for 30 years before killing himself. Today, people report hearing Aleno's keys jangling as his ghost walks the pathways at dawn. Number 3. Tower of London. The Tower of London, officially Her Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress of the Tower of London, is a historic castle located on the north bank of the River Thames in central London. It lies within the London borough of Tower Hamlets, which is separated from the eastern edge of the square mile of the City of London by the open space known as Tower Hill. It was founded towards the end of 1066 as part of the Norman conquest of England. The White Tower, which gives the entire castle its name, was built by William the Conqueror in 1078 and was a resented symbol of oppression inflicted upon London by the new ruling elite. It's best known for its bloody history as a prison and execution site. Henry VIII famously ordered the execution of 2 of his wives, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, here. It's also where 2 young princes were imprisoned after the death of their father, King Edward IV. They disappeared shortly after in 1483, and their remains weren't found until 1647. Number 2. JAZIRAT al-HAMRA. Al-Jazira al-HAMRA, also known as the Red Island, is a town to the south of the city of Ras Al Khaimah in the United Arab Emirates. It is known for its collection of abandoned houses and other buildings, including a mosque, which are widely believed locally to be haunted. The town was ruled by the Zab tribe, which was rehoused in Abu Dhabi following a dispute with the ruler of Ras Al Khaimah. Portions of 6 Underground for Netflix were shot in Al-Hamra in 2018. The town was originally a tidal island and by 1830 was home to some 200 people, mostly occupied in pearl fishing. People claim that visitors are bound to experience strange noises and chilling apparitions, usually jinns in the form of animals. Number 1. St. Augustine Light. The St. Augustine Light Station is a private aid to navigation and an active working lighthouse in St. Augustine, Florida. The current lighthouse stands at the north end of Anastasia Island and was built between 1871 and 1874. The tower is the second lighthouse tower in St. Augustine, the first being lit officially by the American territorial government in May 1824 as Florida's first lighthouse. However, both the Spanish and the British governments operated a major aid to navigation here, including a series of wooden watchtowers and beacons dating from 1565. The location is the subject of numerous ghost stories and supernatural legends, and the St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum offers tickets for a number of Dark of the Moon ghost tours and ghost-themed private events to the public. According to ghost hunters, the lighthouse and surrounding buildings have a history of paranormal activity. Do you know about any other haunted places in the world? Let us know in the comments below.